everyone, and welcome to Esports Unzipped, your hub for all things esports. My name is Karen Blunt, and today I'll be talking about Overwatch's newest hero, Sigma. He is the newest tank class hero to be added and is so far the most impactful character to be added. Sigma isn't on the side of good or evil. He is pretty neutral, but has a slight problem with his sanity since he messed with a black hole. Since the incident, he has constantly heard a melody in his head and gained the ability to control gravity, even to a greater extent than Zarya did with her gun. Sigma has taken over as my favorite character in all of Overwatch, not only for his flexibility as an esport character, but also for the backstory he was given. And his cinematic trailer is by far my favorite. There are parts that you'll hear whispers, and if you play it in reverse, you'll hear a secret message.
Release me!
Even playing the entire trailer backwards changes his story completely. And I think this is why he's considered the most neutral character out of all of them. Even though he is on the side of the bad guys, he is only there because they are the only ones that would take him in. In some of his voice lines, he has great admiration for the scientists of Overwatch like Mei and Mercy. He even worked with Dr. Winston, you know, the guy who made Winston and Hammond. He really wanted to do something great for the world, and one mistake cost him pretty much everything. Another reason he is one of my favorite characters is because he is full of references. From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, to a real-world picture of a black hole, and finally a Hannibal Lecter skin. But enough about the lore and references, let's get into what makes this character great in esports standard. Sigma is a tank, therefore he has a ton of health as well as a defense ability. But what sets him apart is that he has two defense abilities. He can activate his kinetic grasp and stop projectiles, and not only absorb it, but add it to his shield for a short time. His second defensive ability is his barrier. He sends it floating forward until he chooses to stop it, and there's no limit on how far it can go. For offensive, he brings with him two attacks. His primary attack is his hyperspheres. Sigma launches two gravitic charges which will bounce off walls and implode. They have a radius of damage similar to Junkrat's mines and grenades. His second attack comes in his third ability, Accretion. He gathers debris from the battlefield and flings it at an enemy. The farther it goes, the harder it hits, even knocking enemies down and pushing them backwards. Then we get to his ultimate, Gravitic Flux. Sigma reverses gravity on himself and in a small area of his choosing, and then slams down the enemies while he floats back down gently. This combo of ability makes him incredibly useful in multiple scenarios. For example, Widowmaker can now have a personal shield to hide behind until it gets destroyed. Another example is when the enemy is on the payload during overtime. Using his ultimate removes them from the payload and could instantly end the game. But one thing that many players are using him for is his ability to counter ultimates. Granted, he can't counter all of them, but that doesn't stop him from beating the competition. He can absorb the ultimates of Mei, Pharah, Reaper, Tracer, Hanzo, Bastion, and a great deal of others, whom have projectile ultimates, since his kinetic grasp consumes them and adds them to his shield. Pharah has the most problem with him since he can just deploy a shield as she uses her ultimate to cause it to backfire on her. One downside of this character is that you'll hear voices and false noises from all over while playing him, hinting at his unstable mind.
What is that melody?
You will also hear a melody at a time. No, not that one. That melody. That is the balance of Sigma. His amazing defense and offense capabilities are offset by the sounds, meaning that higher skilled players that listen for sound cues to detect the enemy might be tricked every now and then.
What is that melody? Freedom.
But what do you guys think? Is Sigma the best character to ever be released? Did you catch any references in the character that I might have missed? Or is he another mistake made by Blizzard like Brigitte was? Why don't you let me know by tweeting me at ZTVGoofingOff, and be sure to use that hashtag Esports Unzipped. And also, don't forget to tune in my talk show on 88.1 WCIP every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It is the #1 college-run esports talk show in the country. Why not find out why? Until next time, I'm Karen Blunt, and I'll see you guys later.